The 50 verses are written in the context of our time, our society. And when we read the 30 verses that was written in the 5th century, we can recognize the roots of the 50 verses. This is very important. And you find out that there are many things that have been left out and not incorporated into the 50 verses. Because in the 50 verses we need place, we need space in order to present the teaching, so that it will in a way that it will be more practical. And the 30 verses are called the verses on the mere manifestation of consciousness. Because consciousness is manifested into two parts: the subject of cognition and the object of cognition. Mình có đi qua đi lại nhiều quá, làm thầy nói không được. The first verse, the metaphors of self and dharmas, which function in so many different ways, take place in the transformation of consciousness. Self and dharmas are not realities, are not separate entities. They are only metaphors. And if we are caught in the ideas of self and dharma, and then we miss the reality. When we touch what we call self and dharma, we have to touch them in a deep way in order to be able to see the nature of non-self and non-dharma in them. And that is the key of the practice. The meditation on non-self and non-dharma is the key of for the transformation. And self and dharma, first of all, have to be looked as metaphors and not separate entities. And we see that self and dharmas function in so many different ways, but we know that all of them are manifested from consciousness. And the word consciousness here, it means three kinds of things. The first kind is maturation, the second is mentation, and the third one is perception of sense objects. Maturation is alaya vijnana, mentation is manas, and the perception of the sense objects are the first six consciousness. Among these three, maturation is the consciousness called store, which has all the seeds. You understand all of this. So the first name is maturation, the second name is store, and the third name is all the seeds, Sattva Bhishaka. Its appropriations and its manifestation of locality cannot be known intellectually. The way Alaya Vijnana functions is difficult for our intellect to understand, because the mental formations that operate in the realm of Alaya Vijnana, namely contact, mental attention, feeling, perception, and volitions, they do not operate in the way they operate within our intellect or the sixth consciousness. Manifestation of locality means our Alaya Vijnana, because of all the seeds in it, seeds of happiness and seeds of unhappiness, it always seeks in order to manifest collectively with people of the same kind of orientation, the same kind of desire, the same kind of view. That can be called affinity. So Alaya Vijnana always have the tendency to join people of the same kind of action, of karma, of interest. That's the law of affinity. And our action, whether the action of the body, of the speech, and of the mind, our actions always lead us to a locality. That locality may be the realm of desire, or the realm of fine matter, or the realm of non-matter, the triple world. We seek to be together with the people who are of the same interest, the same tendency with us, and that is called the manifestation of locality. Suppose we are in Plum Village. Why are we in Plum Village, sitting in the same room? Because we are interested in the same thing, and that is one of the things described as the activity of store consciousness. We come together and manifest ourselves in a locality. And the appropriations means the other kind of action of operation by Alaya Vijnana, because the function of Alaya Vijnana is to receive the seeds and to keep it, to preserve them, to keep them, to nourish them, and to help them to ripe, and that is called appropriation. So Alaya Vijnana has two functions: appropriation and manifestation of locality. Appropriation means to receive and to preserve and to help them to ripe. That's about seeds. And when it is ripe, when the seeds are ripe, and then it will join in the mutual manifestation of a locality, the kind of light, the kind of realm, the kind of bhumi. People who like the same thing, who aspire to the same thing, come together, and that is the fruit of vipaka, manifestation of locality, maturation. And that kind of functioning, appropriation and manifestation cannot be known to us by our intellect. And the way it functions is with the 5 universal mental concomitants: contact, mental, attention, feeling, perception, and volition. And the feeling of alaya is always neutral. Alaya is unobstructed, not like manas. Manas is obstructed, but alaya is unobstructed and indeterminate. It's like the earth. The same thing is true of the mental formations, like contact, mental, attention, feeling, perception, and volition. Its release takes place at the state of Arhat. When you attain the fruition of Arhat, and then the alaya vijnana is transformed. It is no longer bound, subject by the grasping of manas, the 7th vijnana. Depending on it and having it as an object is the consciousness called manas, its nature being mentation, because the function of manas is clinging, grasping, taking alaya vijnana as its beloved one. But the object of that consciousness is not alaya itself. Touching alaya, it constructs an object of its own, and that object is called self. Manas is always conjoined with the 4 afflictions, obstructed but indeterminate, known as self-view, self-confusion, self-pride, and self-love. Manas is rather the kind of tendency, the kind of energy that are formed by the seeds of the seeds of illusion, the seeds of anger, the seeds of craving within alaya vijnana. So its nature is rather passive and not active, and that is why here it is described as indeterminate, and obstructed. And if during the practice, by our practice, we transform the seeds of ignorance, the seeds of anger, the seeds of craving within the depth of our alaya vijnana, and then manas will be transformed also. Manas will become a kind of wisdom that will be able to see the nature of non-self, to see the nature of interbeing in reality. But before that, it is only a mass of energy expressing ignorance, hate, and craving. And it functions with mental concomitants like self-view, self-confusion, self-pride, and self-love, craving, ignorance, and hatred. It arises wherever the other arises. The other here is alaya vijnana. It follows alaya vijnana, and it arises along with contact and the others. In the state of arhatship, or the attainment of cessation, the supramundane path, it no longer exists. In this situation, the seeds of ignorance, the seeds of anger and craving have been transformed, and that is why manas no longer exist. In its place will be the wisdom of non-discrimination between self and non-self, the wisdom of interbeing, and that is the second transformation. Verse number 8. The third is the perception of the 6 four sense objects. It is beneficial or unbeneficial or neither. The ninth verse is about the mental concomitants that operate with the 6 consciousness. The 5 universals, the 5 determined, the beneficials, as well the afflictions and the second afflictions. All these mental concomitants are mentioned in the following verses. And its feeling are of 3 kinds: pleasant, unpleasant, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. And verses number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13, number 14 just mention the names of all these mental concomitants. There are 4 in verse 14 that can be described as beneficial at times and unbeneficial at other times: regret and torpor, initial mental application, and subsequent discursive thought. When we look back at what we have done or said or thought, if we have regret, and if we are determined not to do it again, if we practice beginning anew, and then regret is beneficial. But that kind of regret becomes a kind of guilt complex that prevent us to study, to practice, and to be joyful, and that kind of regret is unbeneficial. The same thing is true with torpor. When we are sleepy, and if we have slept enough during the night, and that sleepiness is unbeneficial. But if we have done our practice well, studies well, and at the time we feel sleepy, sleepiness at that time is beneficial. Initial mental application is vitaka. Subsequent discursive thought is vichara. These 2 are about thinking, and the thinking that make us see more deeply into our situation, our problems, the nature of things. That kind of thinking is beneficial. But if we keep thinking about this and that without stopping, that useless kind of thinking should be considered to be unbeneficial. In the root consciousness, the 5 perceptions arise according to conditions, either singly or together like waves on the water. Root consciousness here is not alaya vijnana, it is the 6th consciousness, mano vijnana. The 5 perceptions arise according to conditions. Sometimes they arise at the same time, or 2 or 3 of them at the same time. At times they just manifest alone, like waves and water. Water is the 6th consciousness, and waves are the 5 consciousness of perceptions. Mano-Vijnana functions always, except in a state of non-perception. Let us correct in the realm of non-perception. Because there is a realm of being called the realm of non-perception, and there are living beings who are born in that realm. They live, they are alive, that they don't need perception. In the Samapati Samadhi, in sleep, in fainting, and in the no-mind state. I think there's some mistake here. We should write like this: except in the state, in the realm of non-perception, in the 2 no-mind states of Samapati, in the 2 no-mind states of Samapati, in sleep and in fainting. There are 2 kinds of samadhi or samapati. The first kind is a kind of concentration where all perceptions just stop. And there is another samapati called Nirodha Samapati of the Arhat. And in these 2 kinds of no-mind states, Mano-Vijnana does not function. Also, Mano-Vijnana does not function in deep sleep and in fainting. Deep sleep means sleep without dreams. (17) Transformation of consciousness is mere construction. Consciousness is manifested into subject and object, and subject and object are manifested from consciousness, and that is why if we believe that there is a subjective mind and an objective object of mind that exists independently from our mind, and that is wrong. These 2 do not have a separate real existence. And that is why both of them, subject of cognition and object of cognition, are mere manifestation of consciousness. I think the rest we will see next time. We will discuss next time.